What I tell you? Alright, motherfucker, this the deal. Mama, mama, I ain't know it was you. Mama, I ain't know it was you. No, I ain't killed no cops. Mama, call me back, okay? Call me back. Mama, stop watching the news. Don't be believing.
There is only one rule. Keep the lights on.
How long does it take for someone to go from posting, been waiting for a healthy relationship, and I finally got one, to becoming a cold-blooded killer? Just 4 months. 4 months for a relationship to turn from love to murder. How do you shoot a woman you claim to love 15 times, then run her over with her own car? Twice.
We will miss her so much. And she was so sweet. She was never angry. She was never mean. She always had a nice thing to say. Never negative.
He seemed sweet, he seemed innocent, he seemed charming.
Those were the words Star Tucker's sister used to describe her sister's killer. So the question becomes, how does someone hide this level of pure evil? How do you date a monster for months without knowing it? Today, we're uncovering everything. The shocking social media posts that revealed his true nature. The horrific details police tried to keep quiet. The chilling phone calls after the murder. And the family's heartbreaking discovery of who this man really was. This is the complete story of Star Tucker. And the 4 months that ended in tragedy. Let's dive in. Star Michael Latrice Tucker was originally from California, but Florida became her home. She had just graduated from Florida A&M University with a nursing degree and was excited to finish her last semester of nursing school. But Star wasn't just a student. She was a senior airman in the 919th Special Operations Medical Squadron in the United States Air Force, assigned to Duke Field in Florida. She served her country with pride, and she was a mother. Star had a young son who meant everything to her. She'd found love before, gotten pregnant during a happy time in her life. There were baby showers.
Star is cheating. Okay, y'all turn around. Turn around. It's a ball. Girl, you gotta check the ring out, make sure it's the one you want. Okay.
But that relationship didn't last. Star found herself a single mother, working hard, serving her country, and trying to build a better future for her and her son. Then she met him, Charles Jerome. 30 years old, single, and according to his own social media, a little too eager to find love. On his TikTok and social media, Charles painted himself as just a regular guy, looking for the right woman. But if you looked closely at his posts, you'd see the red flags waving everywhere.
My name, my age, my favorite color, my height, my sign, do I have a lover?
But Charles had some interesting thoughts about relationships.
I hate when I'm dating and talking to somebody and they be like, oh, you're always in the house, you don't ever go nowhere. But they know if I go get a fresh retwist, a fresh fade, and put on some clothes and go outside, I'm gonna be a problem. So you either want me to stay in the house and play this video game or go be a problem. You choose.
And here's where it gets weird. Charles posted this bizarre rant.
Y'all ever had somebody that didn't want nothing serious with you because you got a kid or kids, but they still wanted to do relationship stuff? Make it make sense, because this one motherfucker had me so fucked up and thought I was so wrong when I didn't want to talk to her no more.
This man was already showing signs of being controlling, possessive, and unable to handle rejection. Before we get too deep, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you find value in these discussions. In October 2024, Charles came across star Michael Tucker online, and he thought he'd hit the jackpot. Here was this beautiful, successful woman. A nurse, a soldier, a mother. Everything he thought he wanted. They started dating, and at first, Charles seemed like a dream come true. Been waiting for a healthy relationship, and I finally got one, Charles posted, proudly on social media. Star was the perfect girlfriend. Despite her busy schedule, juggling nursing school, the Air Force, and being a single mother, she cooked for Charles whenever he wanted. She made time for him. She cared about him. Charles posted about her regularly online, always including her son in the pictures. Star seemed happy too. She had moved up in rank at work, was almost finished with nursing school, and had found love again. Life was good. But Charles had other plans. After just 3 months, Star began to realize something was terribly wrong. The man she thought was her boyfriend was becoming her prison guard. As one social media post later revealed,
a narcissist's biggest supporters are going to be their family and friends.
And the biggest one is going to be their mom.
Charles wouldn't let Star live her life the way she wanted. He wouldn't let her be. And most importantly, he wouldn't let her leave. Star tried to break up with him. She'd realized that this wasn't love. This was control. This was possession. And she wanted out. But Charles Jerome Carson Dowdy had decided that if he couldn't have Star Tucker, then nobody could. January 2nd, 2025, 8 p.m. What started as an argument was about to become one of the most brutal domestic violence murders in recent memory. Star Tucker had made her decision. She was done. Done with the possessiveness. Done with the control. Done with the man who treated her like property instead of a person. She wanted out of this relationship, and she was going to make that clear to Charles once and for all. The argument escalated quickly, too quickly, and then Charles snapped. He pulled out a gun and opened fire on the woman he claimed to love. Charles fired 15 shots at Star, 15 rounds aimed at a woman who just wanted to be free. 7 of those bullets found their target, tearing through Star's body as she tried to escape the man who was supposed to protect her. As Star lay dying in that parking lot, bleeding from 7 gunshot wounds, he got behind the wheel of Star's car and he ran her over. The impact was devastating. But Charles backed up and did it again. He ran over Star Tucker twice, using her own vehicle as a weapon against her broken body.
The victim was shot at least 7 times by her boyfriend and then run over at least twice.
But even that doesn't capture the full horror of what Charles did. Residents heard the gunshots and called 911. When deputies arrived at the Crossings apartment complex, they found Star in the parking lot, barely clinging to life. She had been shot 7 times. She had been run over twice. And she was still fighting. Star was rushed to the hospital, but the damage was too severe. The woman who had dedicated her life to healing others, who was about to become a nurse, who served her country with honor, died from her injuries. Meanwhile, Charles had fled the scene in Star's Jeep Cherokee, heading west on Interstate 10. While deputies were still processing the horrific crime scene, Charles made a phone call that would seal his fate. He called the father of Star's young son to tell him that the mother of his child is dead, and that he killed her, and that he didn't want to talk about what happened. But then Charles couldn't help himself. He started confessing. Everything was good. And then some rage broke out. Charles told the man he was underneath a bridge headed to Mobile, trying to escape to Alabama. probably thinking he could outrun the consequences of his actions. But law enforcement was already one step ahead. Deputies had the father call Charles back while they listened in. During that second call, Charles revealed something that would lead to his downfall. He was waiting for a tire technician because he had a flat tire. The father suggested Charles turn himself in. Charles said he was scared.
Within 10 minutes or so, they found the vehicle actually with a flat tire right by Ralph and Caicos on the causeway. He'd already called roadside assistance to come out there and help him change the tire.
This man had just committed one of the most brutal murders, and he's sitting there waiting for AA like he's having a normal bad day. Charles Jerome Carson Dowdy was arrested at 12:52 a.m. on January 3rd, 2025. Less than 5 hours after he had turned Star Tucker's life into a nightmare. His freedom was over. When the news broke that Star Michael Tucker had been murdered, the shockwaves rippled through every life she had touched, from her military family at Duke Field to her blood family in California, from her nursing school classmates to complete strangers who would hear her story. Everyone asked the same question. How could this happen to someone so good?
I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't have all the right words. I'm tired. I haven't slept. I hardly eat. I'm just exhausted. I feel like I'm in a nightmare. He seemed sweet. He seemed innocent. He seemed charming. He didn't give off he could do something like this. But you never know until it's too late.
This is the terrifying reality of domestic violence. The monsters don't always look like monsters. They don't always act like monsters. Until they do.
I don't understand why he did what he did, because he could have just left. I just want justice as of now, and I won't stop until I get it.
4 simple words that capture the senselessness of this entire tragedy. Star wanted to break up. Charles could have walked away. Instead, he chose murder. On January 7th, 2025, Charles was extradited back to Escambia County, Florida. He was booked into jail at 11:23 a.m. and charged with second-degree murder. When he appeared in court, the judge took one look at the evidence and made a decision that surprised no one. Charles Jerome Carson Dowdy was denied bond. He would remain locked up while awaiting trial. But here's something that should have been a red flag to everyone. This wasn't Charles's first run-in with the law. Court records revealed that Charles had been arrested in Mobile in early 2023 as a fugitive wanted for assault in Texas. He had a history of violence, and somehow Star never knew.
We're going to continue to gather evidence, even though he's already in jail, and we're already working with the state attorney's office on prosecution. We're going to continue to build the case even and make it even stronger so that he will remain in jail.
The message was clear. Charles Jerome Carson Dowdy would never hurt another woman again. At Duke Field, Star's military family was planning something beautiful. A celebration of life. Service to honor the senior airman who had served with distinction in the 919th Special Operations Medical Squadron. Star had almost finished her nursing degree. She was about to become the nurse her sister said she knew Star would be. The best nurse there ever was. She had been excited to finish her last semester. She had been looking forward to a future of healing people, of saving lives, of making a difference. All of that was stolen from her. All of that was stolen from the world. But this story isn't just about Star. It's not just about Charles. It's about all of us. Because somewhere right now, there's another Star Tucker trying to leave another Charles Carson Dowdy. Somewhere right now, there's a woman who thinks her boyfriend is just a little possessive, but doesn't realize she's dating a killer. May her life and death be an inspiration and a turning point towards justice and increased protection for domestic abuse survivors. If you know someone in a controlling relationship, say something. If you see the red flags, speak up. If someone tells you they're scared of their partner, believe them. Because somewhere out there is another Star Tucker. And maybe, just maybe, we can save her before it's too late. Rest in power, Senior Airman Star Michael Latrice Tucker. Your light will never be dimmed by the darkness of the man who took you from us. Justice for Star Tucker. Justice for all victims of domestic violence. Never forget her name. I hope this story helps you recognize warning signs and encourage you to seek help or offer support before it's too late. I'll see you in the next episode of Crime of Passion. Thank you for watching.